Hello, a very good morning to all. I am Mr. S. S. Sazni from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology Polytechnic, and I am teaching the subject Thermal Engineering. So today we are going to continue with the third part of the important questions from MSBT paper. In the previous two lectures, we have seen Winter 19 and Summer 19 MSBT paper, and the last one, that is Winter 18, we are going to discuss today. So let's see what all questions have been asked from this second chapter in the Winter 18 paper. The first question from Winter 18 paper is as follows: what is universal gas constant? So this is a theoretical question asked for 2 marks. So we have seen what is the definition of universal gas constant. You can mention here that it is the product of characteristic gas constant and molecular mass. Also, it is necessary that you should write the formula for this universal gas constant. So as per different books, they are having different notations. So here you can see they have denoted the universal gas constant as R suffix U is equal to M into R. Whereas we have studied that universal gas constant is represented by R bar. So there is no any problem with what you are going to denote. Just the necessary thing is that you should know what is the exact formula. Then you can either represent it by RU or R bar, both will be correct. So along with this, it is also necessary that you are knowing what is the value, that is standard value for universal gas constant, which is equal to 8.314 kilojoule per kg mole Kelvin. In this way you will get 1 mark for this definition and 1 mark for writing this value along with its unit. Now let's see the next question, and the question is as follows: represent the following process on PV and TS diagram. And the first process is isentropic process and the second one is isobaric process. So this question is asked for 4 marks. You have to draw PV TS diagram. So since they have asked 2 process, we will be having a total of 4 diagrams and each diagram will carry 1 mark. So we are having here the PVTS diagram for isentropic process as well as for isobaric process. And I think that there is not much to discuss in this question now, because you have already studied all these process and its representation. Let's see the next question. The next question, which is asked in Winter 18, it is carrying 4 marks. So the numerical is as follows: 3 meter cube of gas at 30 degrees Celsius and 5 bar pressure is expanded isothermally to 1 bar with law, that is PV is equal to constant. Find the work done and change in internal energy as well as heat transferred. So first of all we will note down what are the given data. They have given the volume V1 equal to 3 meter cube. The temperature they have given 30 degrees Celsius. So we will require to convert it into its SI unit, that is in Kelvin. And again we are having a pressure P1 equal to 5 bar and P2 is equal to 1 bar. So again we have to convert this value of pressure into its SI unit, that is we are supposed to multiply both these values, that is P1 P2 by 10 raised to 5. So it will be converted into Newton per meter square. And again they have also given that the process is a isothermal process. So for isothermal process we know that the law as per Boyle's law, which is represented as PV is equal to constant. So by this Boyle's law we can use the formula, that is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. As we are having both the values of pressure and one value of volume, we can easily calculate the final volume, that is V2. So this V2 is coming out to be equal to 15 meter cube. So here there are a lot of mistakes in the model answer which is provided by MSBT also. So just take care if you are directly downloading this MSBT model answer papers from the MSBT website, because there are a lot of problems with the numericals. They are having a lot of mistakes. So if you are having any problem, then you can contact me. Once we get the value of V2, then we can easily determine the work done for isothermal process. As we should know, the formula for work done for isothermal process, it is given as dW is equal to P1 V1 into log to the base E, and the ratio of volume, that is V2 by V1. So we will substitute all these values in this equation. So we are having P1 as 5 into 10 raised to 5. Again V1 that is given, that is 3 meter cube, and the logarithmic ratio of V2 by V1, that is 15 divided by 3. So after calculation you will get this value equal to say about 2.41 into 10 raised to 6 kilojoule per kg. So this is the value of work done. And the next part is a very interesting one, because for isothermal process the change in internal energy as well as heat transfer both will be zero. So you will not need any formula for calculating these values. So you can directly write that these values are zero. So you will be getting 1 mark for the calculation of V2, again 1 mark for determining the value of work done, 1 mark for change in internal energy, and 1 mark for heat transfer. Though its value are 0, you will be getting 1 mark. So you should know each and every formula related to every process, because if you are having such questions in exams, then even if you are not solving any question and just writing heat transfer and change in internal energy is equal to 0, then also you can easily get marks. So the most important thing is that you should know what all formulas are related with each and every process. So for solving up to this step, you will easily get 4 marks. Now let's move to the next question. So again we are having one numerical asked in winter 18 paper for 4 marks, and the question is as follows. A cylinder contains 0.12 meter cube of air at 1 bar and 90 degrees Celsius. It is compressed to 0.03 meter cube, the final pressure being 6 bar. Find the index of compression and increase in internal energy. Now let's solve this question. So first of all we will note down the given data. So we are having initial volume, that is V1 equal to 0.12 meter cube. Then again initial pressure of air, which is 1 bar. Initial temperature we are having T1 equal to 90 degrees Celsius. So we are converting it into its standard SI unit, that is we will add 273, and the final value will be 360 Kelvin. Then again we are having final volume V2 is equal to 0.03 meter cube, and the final pressure of air, that is P2 is equal to 6 bar. After this we are using the characteristic gas equation for determining the value of mass. This is necessary because without mass we cannot calculate the change in internal energy. So by this characteristic gas equation, that is PV is equal to MRT, since we are having all the values that is P1, V1, T1, we can substitute in this equation. Now since they have not given the value of characteristic gas equation, so in this particularly paper, that is in this model answer, they have assumed this value equal to 289. So even if you are substituting this value as 287, then also it is okay. So after all this substitution, you will be getting the value of M equal to 1.15 kg. Now we have to find first what is the index of compression and for this purpose we are having the following formula as P1 by P2 is equal to V2 by V1 bracket raised to n, where n is nothing but the polytropic index. So all the values we are already having, so we will substitute these values and then finally we will get n equal to 1.29. With this we have completed 50% of the asked question. So you will be getting 2 marks up till this step. Now for the remaining part, that is we have to determine the change in internal energy, and for this purpose we have already calculated the value of m. In addition to this, it is also necessary to determine the value of T2, as we know that the change in internal energy is given by the formula, that is mCV into delta T. So for this temperature difference we will need two temperatures. So as we are having the value of T1 equal to 360 Kelvin, so we will first find the value of T2, and this value can be determined by using the formula or the equation of state, that is P1 V1 by T1 equal to P2 V2 by T2. So we are having all the values except T2. So now we can easily calculate this value of T2, and it comes to be about 540 Kelvin. With this we can now determine what is the change in internal energy by this formula mCV into T2 minus T1. We have calculated m, so we will substitute that value which is equal to 1.15. Again the value of CV they have not given in the question, so we have to remember the standard value for this specific heat, which is equal to 0.72, and multiply by the temperature difference, that is 540 minus 360, and after solving this will give us the value of change in internal energy, which is equal to 149.04 kilojoule. So this will give you the further 2 marks, and in this way for determining the value of index of compression and increase in internal energy, you will be getting 4 marks. Now let's move to the next question. Again we are having one numerical which is asked for 4 marks. Since there is a lot of mistakes in the question as well as the solution which is given in the model answer paper, I have taken just a similar type of question from other reference book, so you will be easily understand this numerical and will be able to solve this such type of numerical. Now let's see the question. So the question is as follows: a balloon is considered to be sphere of 10 meter in diameter. The balloon is filled with hydrogen gas at 25 degrees Celsius and at atmospheric pressure. The temperature of the surrounding air is 20 degrees Celsius and at atmospheric pressure. Determine the load which can be lifted by the balloon. So this is a very different type of numerical, as whatever the numericals we have solved up till now, those were based on the process related to either isobaric or isochoric as well as isothermal process and their formulas. So here you should understand what they have asked in the numerical. So in the question, if you focus on the last statement, that is determine the load which can be lifted by the balloon. This means that we have to calculate the difference of mass of air and the mass of given gas which is present inside the balloon. So this gas is nothing but the hydrogen gas, and we have to determine the difference between the mass of air and mass of hydrogen gas. So let's solve this numerical. So first of all, we know that the volume of balloon is given by the formula 4 by 3 pi r cube, where r is nothing but the radius of balloon. In the question they have given that the balloon is actually a sphere, so we are using this formula of volume, which is for sphere and equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. They have given us the diameter of the sphere, that is equal to 10 meter, so its radius will be 5 meter, and after substituting this value of radius equal to 5 meter, we will get the volume of balloon, which will be equal to 523.6 meter cube. Now after determining the value of volume of balloon, we will determine the value of characteristic gas constant. So again we will be using the relation between universal gas constant and characteristic gas constant and determine the value of R. So this value of R will be equal to 8314 divided by 2. Here we have taken the value of universal gas constant in joules and not in kilojoule. Thus we have written here the value as 8314 divided by molecular mass of hydrogen gas, which is equal to 2. So this will come out to be equal to 4157 joule per kg Kelvin. Now we will use the characteristic gas equation for hydrogen gas, and then we will determine the mass of hydrogen gas. So we know that the characteristic gas equation, it is given by PV is equal to MRT. Now except M, we are having the rest all of the values. So after substituting all these values, we will get the mass of hydrogen gas equal to 42.827 kg. Now we have obtained the value of mass of hydrogen gas. After this we will again use the same equation, that is characteristic gas equation, PV is equal to MRT, for determining the value of mass of air. And when we are substituting all the values, then we should take care that we are not substituting the value of R equal to 4157, which we have calculated in the earlier steps, because we are determining the mass of air. So for this purpose we will be substituting the value of characteristic gas constant, that is equal to 287, which is the standard value for air. As also the temperature of air, they have given equal to 20 degrees Celsius, because while calculating hydrogen gas we have substituted the value of temperature equal to 25. So for calculating air we should take care regarding these differences, and accordingly we should substitute the values, that is temperature equal to 20 degrees Celsius, after converting it into its standard SI unit, that is in Kelvin. So we will add 273 to this degree Celsius temperature, and after solving this equation we will get the value of mass of air, which will be equal to 630.9 kg. Now for calculating the load which can be lifted by the balloon, we will simply take the difference of both the masses which we have just calculated. So the mass of air 630.9 minus mass of hydrogen gas, that is 42.827 kg. So this will give us answer equal to 588.073 kg. So this was the last question from winter 18 paper. Again, if you look at all the questions which we are discussing today's lecture, then you can find out that about 18 marks question, this much weightage has been given for this second chapter, and out of these 18 marks I think a total 6 marks might be of theoretical based questions, whereas 12 marks questions are based on numericals. So from all the three papers which we have been discussing since the last two lectures and today's third lecture, you might have got an idea that about 12 marks numericals from this second chapter are definitely asked in each and every paper. So you should take note of this, and accordingly you should study for these numericals. Though there are much less theoretical points in this chapter, so you can easily cover that theoretical part, but the most important thing is you should particularly focus on these numericals for this second chapter. So with this we will stop here today, and from the next lecture We will be starting with our new chapter, that is chapter 3, which is nothing but steam and steam boilers. So this is again a very big chapter, and also it is very interesting since it is consisting of an important part of thermal power plant, that is boiler. So we'll study this in the next lecture. Till then, thank you very much.